Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, and this is the podcast where I interview people in my bed. For the 18th episode, I interviewed comedian Adam Grabowski, who you may know from this season of America's Got Talent. He's a stand-up comedian, and you can follow him at Adam Grabowski. That's Garbowski. He's also on Instagram, and you can follow him on Snapchat too, and adamgrabowski.com as well. Lots of plugs there. This was my first interview from out of town. I was in LA, and thank you to Cherry Joe Rask for letting me use your bed for this interview. Adam and I got really personal, talking a lot about relationships, being a wingman, gift giving, long distance, orgasms, and squirting. So we get real personal, real in depth there, so that's really fun. Let's just say you learn a lot more about the both of us this episode. This show is brought to you by Audible.com. You can go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah to get a free audiobook of your choice. Since we talk so much about relationships this time, I'd like to recommend Aziz Ansari's book, Modern Romance. Again, you can go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. Well, let's get started with the show. Hi, welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. It's a special episode from LA and from my friend Terry's bed. I'm Sarah, and this is Adam Grabowski, my guest.
Hey.
He just moved to LA from Chicago.
I did.
Yeah.
Friday. Today is some other day.
Today I think is Tuesday.
Yeah. You lose track.
How'd you sleep last night, Adam?
It was good. I didn't sleep in Terry's bed. Terry isn't here.
Terry is a friend of mine. He's letting me crash, and she's letting me use her bed for my podcast. So thanks.
Usually,
very much.
when my friends have asked me to use my bed, it's not to record a podcast.
What have you had your friends use your bed for? To hook up?
That happened not too long ago, and it was a female friend.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
She's just like, hey, Adam, I gotta bang. Let me use your room.
I'm an equal opportunity friend in terms of wingmanning. And I never asked someone else. I'm not going to sleep with someone in someone else's bed. But, in Costa Rica, my friend, we're not seeing each other. So we're like, we'll be wingmen for each other. Mm-hmm. Apparently, I was a much better wingman because she found someone. And I was like, okay.
So you guys shared a room, and then why didn't she stay in?
No, actually, it was my hotel room. She was out there for an internship in Costa Rica. So she had a place, but it was like half an hour away. And she was going back later that night. But not going back with him later that night.
Yeah, she didn't want to take him.
So my hotel was there, and I was like, oh my god, okay, fine. Yeah. I'm like, that's fine, you can use my hotel. But then I thought, so it was a big room, right? It was a bigger hotel room, kind of apartment style. And, you would think that they would use the shower or the couch, right?
Yeah, probably.
No, they used the bed. I was so mad.
Well, you probably should have specified.
I didn't specify. Okay.
I mean, I honestly, you think about, you're going to have sex in a hotel room, you'd think that it would probably be using the bed, but it's a weird situation. I don't know. I've never, hooked up in somebody else's...
Yeah,
I guess I have...
Right.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was Saturday night in Costa Rica. We were at this rooftop bar, and it's a small town, but it was a touristy town, Tamarindo. Mm-hmm. And it was a cool rooftop area where one side was, hip-hop DJ, the other side was merengue, the music from there, and then the middle was the bar. And my hotel, attached to that bar. Oh. It's not like here. It was a small town. I mean, under 50,000 people total in this entire area.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, so I had some friends come over back to my hotel room to use the bathroom because it was attached to the bar, and it was easier. And then she and a guy came back. I was like, are you serious? You're not even staying in my room tonight. Mm-hmm. You're just using it. But I wanted to own up to saying that I was a wingman. So, yeah.
Did you call hotel services to, change out the sheets or anything?
No. This is Costa Rica. There was one person there, and they didn't speak English, and they were like, one of our key cards stopped working, and he's like, it's okay. And I was like, no, it's not. We need this to be changed. And he's like, it's okay. And I was like, all right, I guess it's okay. There was no service.
Why were you in Costa Rica? Just traveling?
I travel for work all the time, and I've never traveled just for myself.
Oh, Costa Rica was just for yourself?
Yeah, it was my birthday, so I decided to just go on my own.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love traveling by myself because you can do what you want when you want and not have to... Well, usually you don't have to check in with anybody regarding other things to do.
Well, I travel for work So I just did 4 months on the road by myself.
Oh, man.
But so then I wasn't sure if traveling alone for recreation is sad or empowering. I'm like, is it sad that I went alone, or is it like I'm a strong individual and I'm deciding what I want to do?
I think the reason I started traveling alone is because I had dated someone for a long time that didn't like to travel like that much, didn't like flying and stuff. So I was like, hey, there's all these places I've wanted to see that I didn't see because I was seeing you, I guess. So I was like, I'm just going to go do it. And the timing didn't work out with my friends there. They couldn't afford it or they couldn't get time off.
That's what it was like with mine.
I was like, fuck it, I'll just go, and...
So I have a companion pass.
Yeah?
So someone can fly with me for free.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, but nobody could just go to Costa Rica out of nowhere.
You can call me, just an FYI.
Well, now, yeah.
So wait, back to my original question. How well did you sleep last night?
I slept pretty well.
Yeah?
I got 7 hours, 7.5.
Yeah?
I think.
Do you usually sleep pretty well?
My dreams are stressful. So I wake up wondering what I should be doing. In my actual life, I have things in order.
Okay.
So my life is better than my dreams is the nice way of saying it. But yeah.
So your dreams are really stressful.
Sometimes.
Is it even when you're having when you're stressed out in life, your dreams are stressful, or just any time your dreams?
No, I just always feel like there's something I should be doing. So most of my dreams are I'm figuring something out in them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't like it. My dreams I thought were supposed to be kind of interesting or happy. Mine are more like, oh, you had to go meet somebody at this one place and pick them up, but then you were late because of traffic, and then you weren't able to make it to this next gig. That's a dream I'll have. That's not fun.
That isn't a very fun dream.
No,
it's like a day-to-day.
No.
Have you never had any crazy dreams where you
I've had crazy
flying
dreams.
or anything
They're all more accomplishment based, and I don't like it. I have to do things in them.
Are you very wow? So it's almost like work.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to relax. People tell me how to relax, and the best way that I do it is by doing.
Yeah. So how do you usually relax? You just go out and do stuff. Yeah.
Exercising or. Yeah, working out or doing things.
Yeah, that was crazy that in the middle of us all hanging out yesterday, you're like, I'm gonna go to LA Fitness for an hour and work out, and we're like, okay,
we were supposed to go on a hike, and then
okay, well,
everybody kept hanging out, and people got there at different times, and then we made coffee, and then someone shows up and they have a beer, and another guy's like, hey, let's just hang out here, and then we got snacks, they came back with a veggie tray. And I'm like, this hike isn't happening, is it?
Well, I wanted to do
And then your one friend, and then Terry from here is like, maybe we could just do a light walk. And I'm like, I don't want to do a light walk. We're going to hike up to the other side. I
really wanted to do that hike. I did. It was 95 degrees. And everyone was like, no. It's too hot to hike but the thing is, I did want to do that because I've done Runyon Canyon and I've done the hike to the observatory. I just haven't done the one to the Hollywood sign. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would be a fun thing to do. And it was an excuse to get people together anyways.
Yes. So the part of the hike is the hangout.
Well, and the thing is that if I just been hey, we're going to go over to my friend, Kimmy's backyard and hang out, people wouldn't have shown up.
Right.
But because we were oh, it's a hike, and we're all ambitious, we're oh, we're going to be healthy.
I told you what I did, right? That I had the AC off on the drive so I could warm up before we got there.
No, you did not. I don't remember that part.
So, I showed up sweaty because I was like, let's do this. I'll do that on the way to the gym sometimes.
Yeah?
Because rather than, if it's hot enough, rather than sauna time.
Have you ever used, any, heat-inducing, pants or shapewear,
no,
for working out?
No, those, garbage bag-looking clothes.
No, they're not garbage bag.
No, I know they're not garbage bag, but they look like it. They look like Missy Elliott in that music video from a long time ago. Is it?
I guess what it is I've got one that's it's capri pants or whatever, and that just holds in the heat, and you sweat 3 times more, which is kind of nice. But I don't do it a lot, just once in a while.
I'll wear some more layers to stay warm, but yeah. Well, we were going hiking, so
yeah,
I had shorts and a tank.
So I really did.
I disappeared to go to LA Fitness, and then I came back with Veggie Grill.
Yes, and then we were all, and it took us forever to get the order to Veggie Grill. You called, and we were all kind of drunk at that point.
Yeah, that's why I said, I'll just order stuff for you, you'll like it.
Yeah, is that what you did?
Yeah. I just got 4 orders of their salads or bowls or. And
this is a vegan place that has fake chicken and fake food.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
You're not vegan, right?
No, I try actually not to eat tofu.
Why? Wait, hold on. You're someone who doesn't like to eat tofu? Why not?
Too much soy.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to intake as much soy.
What about like seitan?
It's paleo that I eat mostly. So, like a lot of chicken and fish.
So like meat and veggies, right?
Meat, veggies, fruits, nuts, yeah. But not so much like legumes or... I know this is so fucking interesting, isn't it?
I know, right? Like your diet? Man.
No, because like to get protein and everything like that, that's why I go with real meat. The whole basis of it, and a lot of egg whites and everything.
See, I don't think about... maybe I should be thinking about more specific like this. I just like... I know when I feel like eating healthy, I eat healthy. And when I feel like taking a break, I take a break. And I try to work out when I can. I don't know. It's just like a thing. I don't know.
My basis for food is... So, as humans, we have these bodies that have innate...
needs?
Yeah. Or ways of processing. So, what I talk about in my show and in life is just all the things we don't control or decide. Like, we don't decide to be people that have emotions. We don't decide... what gender we're born to. We don't decide
who we love.
Yeah, but also your innate like desires and how we mature and our height and our skin tone. We don't choose all these things. So I try to think like what type of food did we evolve to eat? Our bodies, because the way we've been eating over the last 1,000 years is vastly different than what humans did as they developed. So it's mostly foods an early human would have eaten. So you could go kill an animal and eat it, but it'd be weird to, like, suck on a cow for their milk. So I'll eat meat, but not dairy.
Yeah, okay. Well, like almond milk. I mean, does that not count? Because would they have gotten milk from almonds back in, like, the paleo
no,
days?
They didn't have almond milk, but the difference is it's just almonds and water.
Yeah.
So it's just the ingredients are just that.
Gotcha. So that's okay.
Yeah, well, also, yeah. What sucks sometimes is that the calcium that's in milk, the lactose kind of takes away from your uptake of it. So
see, I'm just waiting to find out like when like people are gonna just be like the next thing is just gonna be natural human breast milk that they start selling at Whole Foods, because like that's just like the next crazy thing. They're gonna be like, wait, for hundreds of years we've been drinking milk from a different animal.
Well, it's kind of weird that it's from a different animal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a little weird that we drink from the but like I could just imagine them trying to find a way.
Can you get a carton of Barb, like a carton of Debbie?
Yeah.
Like,
oh God, that would be so weird. It'd be like the Coca-Cola, but a little different. Like how they had the names on the Coca-Colas.
Yes.
But it would be very different. See, that would be odd.
Stacy, this is bullshit. Stacy always curdles in a week.
Oh my God, that's so bad. But like, I just waiting for something crazy like that is gonna be like the next thing, I don't know.
No, I'm actually gonna order this thing called. See, I'm a little hesitant because I think it has a lot of soy. It's called Soylent, and it's just like nutrient drink. Like if I could choose my favorite food, it would be nutrients. Like, if you can just feed me that.
That sounds so boring, though. It's like, how could you just, like, I don't know, like...
I get my pleasure from other things. Once you change your palate, though.
What, from what? Like...
So, like, I used to have...
Like, what other, like, what else do you get your pleasure out of? Obviously, performing.
Performing, engaging with other people, connection, physical connection.
You talking about hooking up?
Yes. Yeah. But also... I don't know, so since I changed my no, I do like food. Like, I was very happy that I get to go to Veggie Grill, because they have a salad that has everything I want in it, and it comes out really fast. So, I just know that so I used to drink an energy drink every day. And my tolerance for sugar was very high, and then things need to be sweeter and sweeter to taste sweet. But then as I've cut all that out, like, the tiniest things are super sweet. Yeah. So, like, when I eat blackberries, they're super sweet. When I have fruit, it feels like that.
Gotcha. So it's more like a treat. Yeah,
you change your palate.
And yeah, and I've been trying to do the no processed sugar thing, but anyways,
that's impossible.
So yeah. So you don't have any weird? You don't like have trouble sleeping? You usually sleep like the same amount every night and all that?
No, I eventually get to sleep. I usually tire myself out, so I go and I do things, or sometimes I'll watch a show, but I tend to be able to fall asleep eventually. I eat before I sleep, though.
You do?
Night. Yeah, it's not good.
So do you like what? If you can't sleep, do you like jog around the block a couple times and then you like go to sleep? Like what do you mean?
No, I've never done that. No, I usually have done enough in the day that I'm tired out by then.
That's good. So you're very, very like you seems like you do a lot of things.
If I don't do a thing in a day, I feel like I kind of wasted that
day.
day.
Me too. I definitely feel that way because I used to sleep a lot, and whenever I get kind of sad, sometimes I'll just sleep more than not, and I feel so unaccomplished. I'm like, I could have gotten up 5 hours earlier. I could have gotten this done, and I kind of get mad at myself a little bit with that,
I hold myself to a high standard. I wish I could just like.
So where does that come from? Like, do you have a competitive family? Like,
No, I mean, so it was just always me. I was competitive with my sister, but like if I know I could do better and I don't, then I am disappointed in myself. Mm-hmm. So like I never got less than an A.
Ever?
I got 1 B+, and I still remember it.
I usually got mostly A's and B pluses. Like I think I only got like 2 or 3 C's ever on like report card. But that was at the height when I was sleeping through classes. So
okay, well, that's a different issue then.
Yeah, it's different.
But like my parents are like, Adam, it's okay to get B's. Like you don't have, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not okay to be wrong.
Oh wow! So
yeah,
you were like super stressful on yourself.
Yeah, on those those things like.
Do you ever have panic attacks?
No. I have not had a panic attack.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because all the things I used to worry about, like tests and making sure I was doing things right and quizzes and things like that, don't matter now at all. Like I have a degree in psychology and sociology, but I'm not using it. And all of my accomplishment in terms of like academic was really for no purpose.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily for no purpose, but
I mean the stress that I gave myself.
Exactly, but
no
what bothers me is that there are these little kids that are like giving themselves so much stress, feeling like they have to be perfect, and then it doesn't matter as much, and they should have enjoyed like being kids more.
I think I enjoy when I am trying hard, though. But now I've learned a lot more on what's important and why. Yeah, that's the entire goal. Is to really have perspective each day.
Yeah. Do you like meditate and stuff too?
I don't meditate.
You sound like you do.
I like yoga. But
yes.
I mostly like by doing I feel more accomplished and by talking to people.
Yeah, just any people, because you make friends everywhere, I found, right?
You should be able to connect to all people. What I used to do when I was first starting stand-up is I would make sure that I had conversations with everyone. So people I wouldn't even think I would engage with. Like the old guy at the grocery store, and I would just have a conversation. And the whole goal was just be like, can you relate to everybody in the way you talk? That's
really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to go about it.
But then it's also just good for life.
I feel like there are a lot of people that are awkward, and as technology is becoming more prevalent in how we have our communication, face-to-face conversations and even looking people in the eyes and that kind of thing is not happening as often.
Oh, yeah. Eye contact. How people don't do that all the time. This is a little different because we're laying down.
This is a little different because we're laying down. But, I mean, like, in general, with the using the phones and all that.
Using the phones and all that? Phones. Oh, my God. Please be specific.
Oh, fine. Texting or playing games on your phone.
Using the technology, the kids and the phones.
The kids and the phones these days.
No. Well, that's something very interesting. I see young people that can send 1 million snaps to each other every other second, but then like don't make eye contact when they talk in person, and you're like, what? Why were you able to?
Or can't talk about anything that's less than surface level.
That's also harder to do because you don't always know your opinions or what really matters. I think it takes time for people, but I don't know. I do find that social media can keep you in touch with people, but it also can detract from being able to have the interpersonal skills. Like somebody will take a selfie openly at a table and like, or will be taking a Snapchat and like saying something weird publicly where people can see them. But then if they had to stand up and address even a small section of that room, they would have a fear of it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, like, people's confidence on social media versus the rest of their life.
And it's also the perception of how they're living their life. Because with social media, it's almost like you can paint your life to be this really fun, interesting thing, even if it's not as interesting and fun. So it's like all this kind of false perception of, because I read an article about these girls that are like Instagram models, and like, I know it looks so easy, but like I took 115 pictures to get that one picture right.
Yes.
And it's like...
And it does not seem... I don't know. If that's something you want... Like, if it's fun for you to take all those pictures, then you should do it. But what's interesting is that you and I should paint a picture because we have careers.
Yeah, I sure
it. She didn't intro this, but I do stand up and I perform.
I do this in the intro.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
I add that stuff in the intro, and I'll add upcoming dates like in a couple weeks when I do the podcast.
Okay, cool.
But if you want to plug AdamGrabowski.com,
yeah.
He can send you a magnet.
I have magnets, koozies, t-shirts, slap bracelets.
Slap
folders,
bracelets?
Flyers. carabiners.
So you were all about the marketing and branding and all that stuff.
If it's things people could use. So, like, t-shirt that you like, you could use. Magnet, you could use. Folder, you could use. Mm-hmm. So it's all, I try to make it things that are functional.
That's good.
Yeah, because...
It's a very guy thing. Like, I read somewhere when you...
I love functionality.
No. It is. Because
True.
when you're ever, like, so I remember, one piece of advice I got was when you're buying gifts for a guy, women like gifts that they don't need. Like, that's something fun. And guys like things that are functional.
Yeah, please give me something to use.
Because if it's not functional...
Do I have to put it on my walls? Where do I put it in a corner? What are you giving me?
Yeah, guys like functional things as gifts, right? Yeah. Like, what's the best gift you've ever been given?
Suitcases. My parents gave me these awesome tool suitcases, and for 4 years I used them. They just broke. They just broke now.
Oh, man.
After 4 years. But yeah.
Should get a suitcase sponsor.
It was great. And then someone gave me a toiletry bag that I still use.
Wow.
Every single day.
It's because do you think of that person every single day?
No, it's an ex. No.
Wait. See, that's the thing. Like, I think that's where it differs from men and women. Like, I feel like I would connect the gift to the person.
Depends on the gift. This thing I use so often that, like, it doesn't really connect with that person.
Okay.
Because I used it so often. Yeah, I know. But I know what you mean about, like, oh my god, that person gave it to me, I can't use it. I remember that with a backpack.
Did that not end as well? Did that end badly, or that relationship?
No, it was, it didn't end badly. It was kind of the realization that we need to focus on ourselves. The person had unaddressed stress, and I can't, you can't solve everything for everyone else. So they needed... The point was that I was living in the suburbs at the time of Chicago, and it was after... I graduated college and I was touring, doing stand-up, so it was easier to live in the suburbs, and she lived there too. And where we're at is that all of my friends, we grew up in the suburbs, and they all stayed there. After college, they went home, lived there, dated somebody long-term, and then eventually got a house with that person. And we were kind of in that trap, but the way that we both were with my career and with hers, we weren't ready for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also, you can find that you're compatible with somebody, and then that's not who you end up with.
Oh, yeah. And
so we were together for 2.5 years, and it wasn't that, like, we didn't love each other or care for each other. It was just that there's probably someone that each one of us could connect better with.
Well, and it's not even about that. I think that people are stuck on the idea that just because a relationship doesn't last your whole life doesn't mean that it's a failure. It's the same with jobs. Just because you have a job, even if you did the job for 10 years... And,
you mean like...
And you move on to a better job.
We do a job for one day, and then we do a job for the next day, and then we do a job... We have a different job every day.
Yeah, well, we do, but I mean in general. And I mean, like, people don't look at someone's career and be like, oh, they worked at that job for 10 years, and then they left for a different job that paid better. They don't look at that as a failure of the previous job.
No. And I think...
But we look at that as relationships. If you're in a relationship for 3 years and then you break up...
The only reason why you do... I don't like when people view it as a negative investment. Mm-hmm. Like, if you see that the person you're with now is not someone you're going to end up with, and you don't want to spend your time, then that's fine. But, like, if you did build something and it didn't become ultimately, like, marriage, that's still not a failure. You still built something with an individual.
I think that's good, but however, as someone... personal experience, I think that if one party knows that, hey, I'm never going to marry this person,
that's why my last breakup happened.
What? There's no reason to keep dating the person.
That's why my last breakup happened.
Yeah.
Because I was with the person and...
Sorry, there's a plane going over. 1 second.
Yeah. No, the last breakup that I had was adult... My breakups are adult reasons. I've never been cheated on. I've never cheated on anybody.
Good for you.
It's usually not something... crazy. It's just more you get to a certain point. So I dated someone for 1.5 years, and we were around each other all the time and serious, but where I was at in my life, I wouldn't have been okay just being with that person forever without knowing if there was someone else I was more compatible with. In addition to the fact that this person was so caring that they poured themselves into everyone else and not themselves. So, like, she could avoid her issues by always being there for me or for other people. And it's like, you need to put yourself first, and you can't force that upon someone. So it was a combination of me going, wow, we're really great together, but I don't think you're going to be the person I end up with. And this person's so good that for me to, once I had the realization, to stay around longer would have been wrong.
See,
and it's like, I don't know. I hated it because I was like, there's a chance we might, but since I'm not seeing it right now, and the level of seriousness this person was at, I don't know. I never really had my single period.
I think that was good though that you, that you did that. That's very mature and right of you because I was in a situation.
Yeah, but that makes it hard and it sucks because you're like, wait, why are we not together? You're like, for minuscule reasons that are important.
It is hard and it sucks, but at least like from someone coming from, I was in a long relationship, many years, and he probably knew maybe like a year and a half in that he probably wasn't going to marry me, but we lived together and we did things, and it was just, he doesn't like change, and he never changed things, so he just kept, it was a pattern, even though, and then I
think at a year and a half, if you can't look at the person and go, 25% chance, like if you could see I'd say a third, 33% chance I might end up with this person, then you stick around.
Yeah, well,
but if you see 0, if you see 5 or
I'm not
none,
saying that he saw 0. I'm just saying I think looking back in retrospect, I feel like he knew earlier on that it wasn't going to ever. And I gave myself, I was like, okay, I'll give him 5 years.
But once you know that, you can't unknow it. That's exactly what happened to me. I'm like, oh, this is not the person I'm going to end up with now. Like on this current track, if I were to stay with them, I know that this would not be. There would always be these questions of like, is this really who I want to be with? And
that's kind of what happened. And I felt very strongly for him, but at the same time, looking back, I'm like, I think I accomplished way more not being with him, and I'm glad I'm not, because I felt like I would have just kind of settled and done,
found purpose.
Well, no. I mean,
I'm kidding, but it's fun to make fun of relationships, but then you realize like how much love and purpose and support there is.
There is, and I guess for me, it's like I haven't been in love in a while, and I don't know. It's like one of those things you wonder, like, oh, can I, because I had a real relationship that was real love.
You can.
I know I can, but I think that maybe, but it's like I had a real relationship that was real love, even if it didn't work out. We didn't want the same things. Timing wasn't perfect. I don't know exactly.
Timing matters a lot, and I mean that in maturity as well.
Yeah, and when we started in college, it wasn't like we weren't the most, even though it was a long relationship, we were still growing up together.
Who you are in college and who you are after and who you are after that is different. Mm-hmm. It changes because of, and I really give a lot of credit to the people that are able to meet then and grow together, because you will change. People definitely change, especially from 18 until their late 20s.
Yeah.
There's a big...
And there was a lot of change that happened, and so I felt like we did just change in different ways. I think I was just trying to make it work because I loved him so much, Mm-hmm. And it's like one of those things, you have love and you realize what it is, you want that.
Were you a problem solver? Like, were you the functional?
What do you mean?
So sometimes in relationships there's somebody that's very functional and then another person who's needs the help to be functional.
I mean,
I want somebody who's very independent and put together. Everyone I've dated has been very capable, but there's sometimes where people need more to complete themselves, and I've been okay being that, but I need to realize I need to find a complete person.
Well, I had other things going on, but I don't think because I feel like when you like, my relationship did take priority over my other things, and now where I'm at in my life, it's like comedy comes first and other things come secondary, and that's just the way it is. And that's why probably I haven't fallen in love. That's why I haven't gotten serious with anybody. That's why it's been like, oh, these little stints of 3 or 4 monthers, and it's like, once it gets too serious, I start to like be like, okay, like stepping out,
Interesting.
And it's like,
but
I don't want to be.
But don't you feel that there would be, if you wanted to be with the person longer, there would be an internal desire to do that, right?
Maybe, but it seems like anybody I feel like I felt that real connection with doesn't even like live here. Like I've got somebody that I knew.
Oh yeah?
No,
Are you saying
no.
No, I'm agreeing with you with the trouble of that. So I go meet someone cool in Boston, and we're very compatible, but I don't live in Boston. Mm-hmm. Met someone that was cool in New Jersey, but I don't live in New Jersey. Pittsburgh.
I met someone that was amazing, and we connected super well, but he was only living in Chicago for a couple months before he went to law school in D.C., And I was like, man, like he was someone I felt like I was like, at that, I was like, man. And I don't even, like...
I've never moved for another person.
I wouldn't move for another person. No. I don't...
I'm open to it. If it's to the point where it makes sense and that's what I want to value at the time.
But I don't believe in long distance things. I just don't.
No, they don't work.
I just don't think they don't work. I mean, unless you have understandings and it's like monogamish or something like that.
It's hard.
But that's also very hard to do when you're... I think it's too hard to build a relationship. If you've already been with the person for a couple years... If you've had one for a couple
years and then you try the long-term thing for a little while, you could do it because you have that foundation and it's kind of independence time.
But the thing is, like, my problem with long distance is you could date someone for like a year and a half long distance and it equals like 2 months in person. And so, like, that's the thing, you know quicker whether things are going to work or not.
The reason why I've not liked long distance is because of the missing. I don't want to... I feel bad when I miss someone. Like, because when you miss somebody, that's not what I want to be doing all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm okay being on the road and coming back, but if I come back and then I still have to travel to another place, it's too difficult. Mm-hmm. So if it's because I'm currently working or doing something or on a tour, but as long as I know I'm coming back to you or you're coming back to me, that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's not long distance to me. But to be in different cities, because it's just... You need to be around somebody. That's the point of a relationship, I feel. And I can have a lot of relationships with people as friends who live in different places. But if it's going to be someone that I want to be with, like, on their own, I don't know. It's been tough because, like, I met someone cool in Boston, but I didn't pursue it further because I don't foresee myself moving there. And that person can't leave because they work at a university out there. See, and I've had that same situation. There are some people I feel like I've connected with in other areas, in other cities, and there have been points where I'm like, oh, maybe we're both going to move to New York, or we're both going to be in the same city at this point. Mm-hmm. But it never worked out. And so it's like these weird things, and you're like, oh, that's somebody I could see myself with, but I don't know. But then at the same time, you meet lots of cool people, and I feel like I've got a lot of fulfillment in my friendships. I don't need necessarily a relationship. It's just, it would be, I don't know. It's just nice to be... I'm at the point where I do want that because I have purpose in myself, but after a while, for me, that gets old. So I'm, right now where I'm at, I just turned 29. I have my career and I have money. And I would be able to, like, establish something, but I have no reason to buy a house in a location because what's grounding me there? I don't have someone I'm dating long term. I don't have a pet. I don't have a kid. Like, why would I need? And most of my work's on the road, so why would I need to? Coming out here makes sense because I need to make Los Angeles my home because this is an industry I need to be a part of. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. I kind of want a little bit of purpose outside myself now, which could be found in a relationship. That's interesting. I mean, I think we all just have different things. Well, maybe that's something you're ready for. Maybe your person's in LA. Yeah, but then timing's everything. If you find somebody who's you're compatible with, multiple people you're compatible with. We're compatible with a lot of people. Yeah, I don't think that there's like one person. No, but I think you kind of get it early on. I kind of like to prioritize somebody early. Like, if I meet somebody that I'm interested in and I want to see, like, if I see them on Monday and we're free that week, I want to see you again Wednesday or Thursday if we can. Yeah. If you got shit to do like I do, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Go do your things. But I don't like this go on a date and then go on another date 2 weeks later. No, I'm not a fan of it at all. I hate that. Because it's like if you're that... Are we into each other? Because then let's be into each other. It's one thing if you're busy or whatever, but it's like I like that initial feeling where you're like, oh, wow, like I want to see you. I want to see you tomorrow. I want to, like I want to wreck you tomorrow. What? You want to... Is that what you refer to it as, wrecking? No, I don't know. I think that's a nice thing to think for someone. That I want to... girls like that I see in the... and we're together, they're like, I want to wreck you tomorrow. It's like, thank you. It's a nice thing. I want to wreck you tomorrow. No, you're not trying to... Yeah, I feel like you want to fully engage the person and make it hard for them to think and move afterwards. Is that how sex works? That's usually the goal. The goal is just to make them enjoy fully it so much that they can't even move. Physically can't function as a human afterwards. For how long? For like just for however whatever period of time. That's interesting. That's fun. Yeah. Yeah. So no, that's like no thoughts in their head other than just experience. That's so like your whole goal is just to have everyone like in the moment with sex. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, we talked about this. Yeah, we had a conversation that I wish we had recorded. It was late night outside a bar. Can we preface that I don't like the name of this podcast because my sister's name is Sarah. So just sleeping with Sarah is just not I don't like that at all. I have one sister. She's older. She's been there since I've been alive.
Yes.
Like, anyway. So when we talk, we just won't say your name when we talk about sex. No, we had a conversation outside of the Den in West
LA.
Hollywood.
Because they close bars at 2 a.m. and we're
Hard
like...
to. There's no 3 a.m. bar. There's no 4 a.m. There's no 5
a.m. It's like, what the hell?
Los Angeles.
So we were outside. It was warm, so we just kept our conversation going for like an hour and a half or something. It was good.
The thing I was sharing was that men think, women think, everyone thinks, no matter how you identify. But generally and statistically, if you identify as female, if you're female, you tend to think more thoughts than the males. So guys during sex get a bit more focused. Like you could, sometimes during sex, you could, like, a bus could blow up outside my building and I wouldn't even notice because you're just like,
wow.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's literally taking blood away from your brain. That's what a penis does. And so you get sex focused. And I realized that that's a harder thing for women to attain. Personally, I just like to be fully engaging and challenging. And but what I realized is that if I can engage the girl that I'm with mentally and physically, they can't think about other stuff. Because I had a couple of friends that are girls, they're like, yeah, I've never orgasmed. I'm like, why? They're like, well, because I'm always thinking, like, is this what I should be doing? Or is this what I'm like? And then sometimes my mind will wander. And I'm like, if I'm challenging you completely, you can't let your mind wander. You have to live in the moment because you have to stay present to accomplish.
Yeah.
And keep up with me.
Well, I think, so I don't know. I think that a lot of times those thoughts, and even subconscious thoughts, are some societal thoughts. Like, oh, like, should I be doing this? Is this too dirty? Is this, is he gonna, like, it's all these weird thoughts. And thankfully, I think, just at a young age, not young age, I endured sex, but, like, at a young age, I understood, like,
it's hard to get that confidence.
This is something that, the point of this is also for enjoyment for me. And that's the way I've looked at sex.
You know that.
What?
I think of sex like think of an arcade game where there's like a high score from the previous players. I want to knock the high score off the list and have all my. So
initials. What the high score is, like how many that girls orgasms, orgasms that girls had ever.
So what's your top score? 5? We're going for 8. Like
what's your top score then?
What for? Giving a girl?
Yeah.
Well, you know all girls are different.
I know.
There's some that like their max score will be 1 or 2, but 11.
11. See, that's the only thing is I think that sometimes it's like I think it's
get 2 beds.
No, I think
at a hotel.
What?
Always get 2 beds. If you're staying in a hotel, it costs the same to have 2 queens as it does 1 king.
Yes, because one will be the wet bed. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess my thing is like it does. What throws me off though, I hate it when guys are like, like, how many times have you come yet? And I'm like, you know that I've come at least a couple times. Like, why are you asking me this? That throws me out of it. When guys ask some of those questions.
No, I wouldn't ask.
You know what I mean?
After you can talk about it.
But the thing is, if it's that good, you can't. Sometimes you lose track. Like if it's that, if you're having that much.
See, that's a thing you could say that I can't say. Guys, I've never lost track of my number of orgasms.
Well, sometimes
just my biology. It's not like.
Oh yeah, but have you ever lost track of the number of orgasms the girls had?
Yeah,
see,
of course.
That's the thing. Yeah,
of course.
See, that's way harder.
Yes, and because there's different ways in which you orgasm. Sometimes there's more of a physical evidence of it, and sometimes it's more them experiencing it. So
exactly.
Yeah. No, that's what I think is great about the female biology, and I'm a little bit jealous of. But I like to engage. You could have 5. To my 1. I want that. I want it to be in the other favor. Remember how I told you in my life, people are like, it's okay if you like get a B or something. And I'm like, no, it's not. I have a high standard for myself.
So you're like, no.
So when we go out to eat and I eat healthy, I order a salad. People are like, you can get pizza. I'm like, I know I can. I just don't want to. This is what I want to do for myself.
You could, if she hasn't gotten there, you could come, but you're not going to. You're
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get off till you do. I always say nice guys finish last.
I guess with me it's like
but guys, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and this is why I don't like sleeping with people I don't know. Like I feel like, or like don't like it's like it's a weird thing because guys can have one night stand. I think I've talked about guys that can have one night stands. Always like sex is still pretty good regardless. You always kind of get there, but girls they have one night stands. It's like, sometimes it's just not good, and it doesn't,
Yep.
But for me, I know myself pretty well, and I know.
I know what you're gonna say.
Well, we talked about this the other day, and I know myself really well, and I know how to get.
She means she knows her body well.
I know my body well,
and you know how to.
I know how to get myself to like. If
you don't need a GPS.
I don't like. If I'm on top, I can usually make myself like get to where I'm going in like 10 minutes.
That's good though.
Yeah,
that's what guys do. Like.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, usually though, it's if I'm like in control, and I know what I need to do, I can usually get to that point. But sometimes it's not as clear if I'm not as hydrated. But I do think that everyone has the ability to do this. I just think that the way we're brought up makes.
Look,
what?
Not everyone can squirt. We know this.
I don't. I disagree. I think people just.
I think a lot more are capable than they would think. Mm-hmm. And maybe from personal experience with people I've seen, they didn't know, and then they learned that they were able to do that. But not every girl can.
Okay, I'm not sure if not every girl, but I've had several friends that I had shared this with that I was like, oh yeah, I squirt, and then they're like, oh, how is that? And I kind of explained to them, and maybe this works for people listening, maybe it doesn't. My whole thing was the feeling before you squirt is the same feeling because it comes from the same area.
Yeah.
It feels like you're about to pee.
Right.
So what I recommend to people is before you plan to hook up with someone, go pee, and then when you have that feeling that you're going to pee, just let it go and relax.
Well, there was a study that I saw where a lot of women are afraid to orgasm because they think they might fart or do something else. And it's just like, just let go and have a goddamn orgasm. I had an instance not a little while ago where the person did not know that they could.
Mm-hmm. She pee a little bit?
No.
Oh.
She just didn't know she was where I might. But then by being fully engaging, I was like, well, I'm a dominant person. But at the moment, it's like, the words are actually let go. Mm-hmm. Like, it's way more explicit what I said than that. But the message is, let go, let yourself orgasm.
Well, I think that the other thing is that a lot of times
it's not the phrase. I didn't say let go.
Let it go. Like the Frozen song just starts singing.
Yep. No, it's a lot more forceful.
So someone's forceful. All right.
What? I told you that. If the other person's, I'm the most like. So. I make sure that everything I'm doing is 100% what the person wants. Mm-hmm. But I just do like it when someone I'm with wants me to do a lot. In terms of dominance or control.
See, I personally, I'm a switch, but I personally like being in control because I know if I'm in control, I can get to where I'm going. But like, I can let go.
It should be a back and forth.
It is a back and forth,
right.
But at the same time, I guess it's just at the same time, like I know I can feel comfortable knowing that I can get there. This position, if I'm in control versus if a guy's in control. Sometimes, I mean, just like the same with girls. Like sometimes guys aren't. Some of them don't know what they're doing as well. A
lot of them don't know what they're doing, and it bothers me. And I feel like the men that are better at sex are the ones that have had relationships that have lasted.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get consistent input. Like, the thing about it is, I'm very vocal. You're vocal. I don't know how much you would tell somebody if they weren't doing what you wanted.
Well, I mean, usually...
But a lot of women, I think, if they're having one-night stands or not doing a lot, they're not going to give input as to what didn't work or what didn't like. You just kind of let it go or don't do it again. And the guys that only have that, they're not getting consistent feedback. They're not seeing how to consistently turn someone on or get to know somebody's body. And I feel like from that, then they don't really know. They're not being graded accurately because the other person's still in that nice phase of we just met, so I want to make sure you feel good about yourself all the time.
Yeah, well... For me, it's what I usually do versus actually vocally telling them. I'll more show them.
You just do it.
Yeah, I show them. I just take their can and put it where I want, or do things. Just kind of.
I like if men like direction. So
I give to an extent, but then but some guys get a little butthurt, little ego issues with any kind of because they'd be like, no, I know what I'm doing, blah blah blah. Like some guys are very different. That way.
You have to be encouraging direction. Like if you're like, that's not how it goes. Or
I don't do that. That's why I don't do any vocal because it can be taken. Like I don't usually say.
No, but if you're like faster, or like to
Well,
the left?
I do that a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's normal. I mean, like more specific direction, just like
Okay.
But then if I just like for example take their hand and put it where I want them, then if they see the reaction or what happens from that, then they catch on and then they start doing that.
You're hoping men learn? Hopefully they get the hint. No, it's good that you're showing them.
Well, because
guys don't get hints and we don't learn quickly. So if you just tell us,
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. I have become more confident. Like I don't like to have sex unless I know it's going to be good. And most women would just have sex just because maybe whatever.
I know that can. I met these people in Costa Rica. They're just people. They weren't friends or whatever. I saw them a couple days when I was on the west side of Costa Rica, and these two girls. There's like a group of 5 of them, and they're like, "Yeah, we slept with these 2 guys on the beach," and I was like, "Oh, okay, was that good?" And they're like, "Well, I mean, we had sex on the beach." I'm like, "Yeah, but like, was it good?" Like, turns out it lasted like 2 minutes, and like no, and I'm like, you just did it to do it. Like, you didn't even have fun with it. Like, I don't know. I guess where I'm at in my life, you're right. I only want to have good sex, and I want it to be like. There's times where I turn it down because I'm like, oh, maybe you're not as compatible or as experienced, and I want you to be comfortable. Because confidence and comfort is what matters.
Or maybe
most
I don't know you well enough, and I don't feel comfortable with that.
That's true.
And that's
too.
a lot of time with me. It's like, it's like
I can tell you an example.
Well, what you want to tell an example, or are you saying
of what you're talking about not being comfortable enough?
Okay.
So there was somebody that I think this was, I don't know, last fall. I met somebody and we hit it off, and we were gonna hook up, and she didn't want me to go down on her because we didn't know each other that well, but she still was willing to have sex, and I was like, well, if you're not comfortable with me going down on you, maybe we shouldn't be having sex then.
Yeah.
Because I want to be at that comfort level where we're able to do a lot with each other and feel comfortable doing it. Like, I don't want to just like, okay, I guess I can put it in. No, I want to fully be able to be with the person. So then I was like, well, then now's not the time. That's totally fine.
But that's the thing. Not a lot of guys think in that way.
Yeah, I know. And there's still that struggle of like, should I have just slept with that person? But I'm like, no.
It's better to have that struggle of should I have slept with that person versus should I have not slept with that person.
Right.
Like, and it's like that weird thing. Like I said,
my biggest cockblock is me, and I'm okay.
What?
With
Your biggest cockblock is you? You should put that on a T-shirt.
My biggest cockblock is myself.
That's pretty funny.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
We went out with people last night, and then you asked me, so did you
hook up with somebody?
Yeah, and I was like, no, because we want to be friends.
You don't think people can be friends and hook up?
You can. I wasn't. I want more of the passion, and I don't. With the person, I saw them more as a friend.
Can't you? But so is this? Do you think a guy thing or just a you thing? Separating that, because I feel like I can have sexual passion with somebody, but not have it be a compatible relationship and still be friends with that person.
No, you can't have that. Yeah. But that's when it needs to be more raw sexuality.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that with people where, we but then when we're together, it's intense and good. And
have you ever developed feelings for somebody that you had really, really great sex with, but, didn't see her as like, did you find yourself developing feelings at all?
I feel like, so one interesting thing is that people won't have sex right away, or some people view having sex right away with somebody as you not getting to know them. But for me, if I like somebody, I want to be physically with them because that will help me know. Like, because if I'm with someone physically and then I still want to see them and it works out well and it's good, then I'm like, great, we're compatible on this next level. It's like...
So you like one-night stands or hooking with somebody the first night and then...
All of my relationships have started quickly.
Yeah.
Not saying that we dated quickly, but it wasn't like, we went on a couple dates for 4 months and then eventually we're together. It was like we went on 2 dates and then hooked up and realized we like each other.
Okay.
But then, I'm not serious right away. I'm just saying that, the person I dated for 2.5 years, first date, nothing, but then second date, we were together physically. Same with the next person I date for a year and a half. I don't want to. I'm okay with waiting, but it's just like if we like each other, this is a compatibility thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I definitely agree with you.
I'm not just going out for one night stands. I'm
not saying
to
that
adults that can make a decision like that.
Yeah, I guess the thing is for girls, it's like even if you like, it's always a thing like, oh, I don't know, you know. It's like I never like to hook up on a first date because it's like. Then the guy sometimes it's just like that's all he really wants, and he's like, oh, it was too easy of a challenge or whatever.
Yeah, but if that's all he really wanted, would you rather wait a month to realize that's all he really wanted?
No, but some guys put girls in categories. Sometimes have the Madonna and the horror.
Valuing
the Madonna and the horror thing, and some guys
make you work for it.
You can totally see this. You can totally see which guys have this, and it kind of sucks because someone that is like sexually open, and just because I'm sexually open doesn't mean that I'm in the I'm still somebody you can take to mom. Just don't tell her about my podcast, I guess. But like that, they have this very Madonna and horror complex. Like I've been out with guys that I know. Like dated around a lot and hooked up a lot, but they still like wouldn't kiss me until like the third date because they're trying to date me, or things like that. And it's a very specific thing, and it's very weird. And there you see guys that like move super slow on purpose, or
if there's someone I think I could actually like, I'm more apt to. We don't have to do anything today.
Yeah.
Like we wait till next time.
And like, that's kind of what I've run into sometimes.
But I'm okay with that. But then sometimes it's not that. It is quicker. But I know what you mean. I don't know. I just hate it for the thought of having to just like, well, it's valued more if you wait longer. You're like, well, maybe, but I don't know. I think you can still value things without having to wait that long for them. Does that make sense?
Yes. Sorry, I had to check on time.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. And I don't think it has to be a certain number of dates or a certain number of whatever.
No, but I hate when people have, like, their arbitrary rules like that. Oh, my God.
I used to have a rule. I used to. My rule was I didn't know somebody for at least a month. Which I think I've actually... Well... It's
not a bad rule, but I hate rules.
I know.
Because everything is subjective in life, and I'm like... I know there was a reason this was created, and there's logic behind it, but it doesn't apply to every situation.
Well, and I didn't keep it at every situation. Like the guy I talked about that moved to DC, I probably we hung out a lot, like in a short amount of time, because like, and that was like an intense, exciting thing, you know. So that was something I think we maybe hooked up like on the second time we hung out, but the second time we hung out for like 12 plus hours, 15 hours or something, like hung out all day.
It's so funny
like,
how much...
this is the person.
It's funny that you wanted to quantify how long. You're like, well, it counted more because we were there for like 12 hours.
You're right. I didn't mean it like that.
No, it's fine. A lot of people do that.
It was...
They get stuck on days. They'll be like, but I've only known you a week.
Because as women, we've been told this for like in all the rom-coms and in movies and TV shows, and it's getting better slowly about sexual openness and that kind of thing, but it's not to the point yet. And there's still...
But it is also in the quality of the time. So I can go on a date with somebody and learn nothing about them and be out all night with them for 4 hours. I can go on a date with somebody and in 1 hour of getting coffee or dinner, have a conversation or get to know them in a way that like is much deeper. That I think the quality of the interaction. But it is important that you said 12, because there was somebody that she's like, well, I've only known you for a week. I'm like, yeah, but we hung out 5 days in a row. Like that's and the amount of things and times that we engaged and talked and interacted. I'm like, you probably dated you and I have gotten closer in 5 days than probably other people you've spent a month or two.
That's scary to people because you're like, oh wow, how can this person that just came into my life, I can have all these strong feelings? Then people get scared, I think.
What sucks is that I have limited time with things.
I think that's a human thing. We all have limited time with things.
I meant with my travel.
Yeah. So
like if I meet somebody interesting, like even when I was living in Chicago, maybe I'm only home 2-3 days, but I want to see if so I don't want to just maybe see you for half an hour one day and then possibly when I come back 3 days later, like let's spend those when I come back like a month or two later, let's spend those 3 days together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, maybe it'll be better out here, you know?
Yeah. No, there's people. There's good people.
Are you a very monogamous person? Is that like when you're in relationships? Are you like monogamish? Like we talked about that the other night too.
I've never cheated on anyone. I've never had anyone cheat on me. When we get to the point where we say that we're in a monogamous relationship, I honor that.
Yeah. Well, no, what I meant is more because you travel a lot. I think a lot of people that travel might be more open to those monogamous.
No, see, like, I would now, but when I dated someone for 2.5 years, and then I dated someone right after that for 1.5 years, when we were together, when she was my girlfriend, either one, I wasn't with anybody on the road. That's just.
Well, I'm not accusing you.
I would be open to it now,
but like,
if the other person was as well.
In terms of, I feel like there are more and more people almost like coming out as being in open relationships or polyamory or this.
As humans, monogamy is not for everyone, and especially at certain points in your life. And the way to know what's best is communication between the two people. So if somebody wants to be like, oh, no, I'm really cool, like you could sleep with whoever, and then they get mad, no, you should be honest and not try to put yourself in a box that you're not, which is that maybe you are someone who doesn't want the person with to be with anyone else. You want to be that, but you're not. So just be what and who you are.
Yeah.
I think that it's been a little while since there's somebody that I really cared for. Well, it's not been that long, but so it wasn't a problem. Like if the person wanted me, if we were monogamous after being together for a while, but that's why I'm not monogamous right away. I can't. So I know a lot of girls are just naturally monogamous. Like I know some girls that are like, yeah, I'm dating 5 guys right now, and I'm like, you're a superhero. I don't understand it. But then there's some that they're like, well, once I like somebody, I find it hard to even try to do that with someone else. It's confusing. It's difficult. I can really only focus on one person.
That's kind of where part of me errs on that a little bit, but at the same time, part of me has been interested in 2 people in very different reasons at the same time. You know, so I've felt both of those sides of the coin. So it's interesting.
I've more experienced the girls that I'm with, that I've dated. They earlier on are just like, well, since we like each other, I don't see myself looking for other people. And for me, I'm open to it still. But I don't know. I think I could be talking to 2 people at the same time and be okay with it, but depending upon how serious you are or how much time you spend with somebody,
well, I think it's something you also feel bad. Like, if I'm dating someone, and let's say I haven't slept with that person yet, right? But I still have a hookup buddy. You know, I have gone from going out with somebody on a date and ending that date and us not hooking up, and then I've gone to my hookup buddy and hooked up with him because
that night.
Yeah, because I wanted sex. Is that bad? Does that mean I don't think that makes me a bad person. I wasn't sleeping with the guy I was dating yet.
Okay, it does not make you a bad person. I just personally know when I drop a girl off, I don't want her to go get fucked. That's what I'm here for. I don't understand. Well, that's what I'm here to do.
He was somebody that was trying to go with the whole Madonna horror thing, so he was taking his fucking time, and I would have probably slept with him that night, you know, but...
Did you express that?
I mean, yeah, but he was... I don't know.
I mean, yeah, or yeah? It's okay. I'm not judging you. I think it's cute and it's funny.
I definitely said something to the effect of, yeah, like, you know, like... I was like, do you have to get up early? And like, I was asking some of those questions, you know? And he was like, well, because he had worked, it was a Friday. He had like worked all day and blah, blah.
No, it's okay.
And it was just kind of like, I was like, this is lame. Like, I wore cute underwear and I, you know, like painted my toenails and I did this other stuff.
See,
and like, I want to have sex tonight.
I can't be that.
What?
I don't, like, I kind of can, but not really. So, the person you called after.
Yeah.
I don't think I like being that as much.
Oh, I mean, I don't like being that for anybody else. I just like the fact that I can call people.
That you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'd be okay with
I don't like
after
to be,
a date, the girl wants to go slow, and then I'm like...
I don't like to be anyone's second choice, but I will totally have lots of second choices of my own. I know that's like totally like...
Okay, good. You understood my point.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's totally how I feel. Like, I
want to be your first choice.
I want to be people's first choice, you know? I mean, except... Well, no, I'll take this back a little bit. Because... Except if it's a hookup buddy and I don't want anything further than that from them. Because then they just get really annoying.
I'm just proud of you.
What? Why are you proud of me?
Just because you could be like, well, and call someone up and like go get some. I just like, I don't know.
I mean, it's not that, I mean, not always. Sometimes, like
I just wish I were that cool. That's what I wish. Like I was that cool to.
It's not that I'm not that cool. It's just like I don't know.
You're capable.
I'm not the only person that does this. I know lots of girls that have done this.
I know that girls can do this. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's like if I did like a guy and want to not have sex with him right away, I'll just end up hooking up with my hookup buddy until I'm ready to have sex with the guy I like, and then I have sex with the guy I like. Like, I don't think that's bad.
No. I'm just thinking about the perfect world that you live in.
It's not perfect.
Like,
it's not perfect.
Hey, well, I figure out, this relationship, I'll just have these people that could fuck me just in case. Like,
I mean, that sounds... But you do, too. You are very... Like, you have guys and girls hitting on you left and right.
No, I have guys hitting on me left and right. Girls don't hit on me. Oh, girls don't hit on guys.
All right, fine. Girls don't hit... All right, fine, yeah.
Some do.
Girls don't hit... But they give you signals. Come on.
Somewhat.
Yeah. I can think of... Since we've been hanging out while I've been in LA, I could think of at least probably 3 or 4 girls that you've interacted with that you could have slept with. I think, like, one of them was kind of... Well, I guess the one was kind of too drunk the other night when we went out.
Yes, no,
one was kind of too... I think maybe the situation just, like, 3 out of 4 of them were probably too drunk.
Yes, and that's why I don't do that.
Yeah, of course.
I want someone to be able to fuck me midday. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, midday. Midday sex is great. That's why I want to date someone that doesn't have a 9 to 5, because I could just be like, hey.
But... Oh, yeah. No, the one person was... Once they got to a certain level of drinking, I was like... All right, we're just going to make sure you're okay. And then, I don't know. So, well, I guess that's good.
I think you have
I guess there's people, like, there are some opportunities, but I just want it to be, I'm really picky.
Oh, see, that's the other thing. You're really picky. You're like, oh, you live in this perfect world. What are you going to do? Like, I'm not...
No, I'm very picky.
I'm picky, too. I'm picky. I mean, like, most girls are picky because there are just too many people out there that are annoying about stuff, Or resilient, or like just won't leave you alone. But
no, I very much like, I don't know. But it's the high standard.
I have a comfort thing. It's like the people I have hookup buddies with are people I've known for years. It's not like there's people I just hooked up with. You know what I mean? And the only other thing is that it changes as people get in relationships. And
it is safer to do that than to go find random people.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not about that. Yeah, but
I agree with that, and I would prefer that. And it's kind of nice to have that.
And there's this weird trust you have with someone you've seen for a couple years, or even if it's casual and not, and then the only thing that sucks is when you lose a hookup buddy because they're dating somebody and you're like, oh man, you're like, I don't know, this is not relatable.
No, it is relatable, but you can't expect that forever.
Exactly.
So in some of my instances, being a traveler like I am, I can meet someone even when I was in Chicago, meet somebody cool in Chicago, but if I'm gone for 3 months and we're not dating, if they're to find someone else and date them, I can't ever fault them for that, and then we're not going to be together physically because they want to see where that goes.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so that's one difficult yes, I've experienced that where there's somebody and your hookup buddies and it's really good, and then they're like, I think I'm looking for something more, and I'm like, that's okay. Guys usually aren't the one to say that, by the way.
I know.
They're not the ones to say, I'm just looking for something more in my life right now. It's usually, I'm dating someone else right now.
I've had, and I will say, I do respect this. I did have somebody who I hooked up with, and like, we had really great chemistry. Okay. And we like made out one other time before, and then we hooked up, and then like a couple days later, because we ran in some of the same circles, I saw him, and he was like, he took me aside. He told me that he had been dating somebody, and even though they weren't exclusive yet, he felt like there's feelings there, and he was trying to do the right thing, and he didn't feel like he should continue. And I was like, I totally get that, and I totally respect that. He's like, in the past, I made really bad decisions when it comes to this stuff, and in the past, I've cheated on people and done other things, but I don't want to do that. And even though we haven't had that conversation, I feel like that conversation's coming, and I want to let you know that was super fun, and I'd love to do it again, but I am trying to be a better person. Good. And I was like, man, I was like, man, I super respect you for that. Like, that was good. I appreciated that.
Good, because I made it all up, but I'm glad it worked.
No, because then like a week
kidding.
or two later, he was dating that girl, and I was like, okay, and that's good.
I've had that happen the other way to me, where it's somebody like, we go on a date, and it's good, or we hook up and it's good, but they're like, there's this other person, and it seems like it's getting more serious, and it's like, okay.
I feel like in Chicago, people are
usually
always
because of travel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're going out of town and they have an opportunity to meet somebody else.
Not just that. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
That sucks, man.
It's okay.
Have you ever been back to the same... Do you hook up with people on the road ever? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Yes. You're like, yes.
Not the college students.
Yes.
Not people from my audience.
Yeah, okay, good.
No.
But that's still legal. We wouldn't get in trouble.
Of course.
That,
but I'm just saying usually... I don't know.
the administrators of the college.
if you're a grad student, if you work at the university, that's a little different. I tend to just want people outside of where I'm working, but also there's a million colleges that I go to, so it's not like it's my boss or my employer or a coworker that I'd be. I don't know. When I go to do a show, I'm there to do a show.
Yeah.
So I'm not there to bang the audience. I'm there to like
And some people definitely do stand up with the goal of banging people.
No. I do like that it makes me somewhat more desirable to people because I do stand up and I'm able to voice my opinion. That's not the full intention. The full intention is to engage as many people in there as deeply as and intensely as I can. That's the goal. And then if there's somebody that I can find a connection with there, then good. But being my own agent, I just know better than to like try to sleep with all your audiences.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't want to sleep with your...
But it is attractive to know somebody knows what I do and who I am.
Gotcha.
So, like, if someone saw my show and then likes me, and then we were to date, I want them to know what it is that I do and how I do it. And I feel like they know more of me because of that.
That's a good point. I think, I don't know.
I sound so chivalrous.
You do. You're like, I'm making myself sound like a real catch. So
No, I'm still just...
Adam Grabowski,
Yeah.
you know, hey ladies, he's single.
High standards.
Are
No.
you, with your high standards, quick question that relates to what you were saying earlier. You're saying like earlier, you're like, I want to go for an A, you know, A+ instead of a B. Like, do you feel that with your standards? It's like, hey, are you somebody, this girl has to have all these things check marked off before you...
It's not the same list for everybody. It's not a list for everybody.
You make it sound like... Okay.
No, sorry. It's not a list for everybody. It's just more... there just a certain level of attraction or attractiveness and compatibility that I want. So I have to physically be attracted to somebody and then also attracted to their personality. And it bothers me that the physical attraction has to be first. But it does.
That's a guy thing, yeah.
It does, and that's how I'm born, and that's built within me. It would be amazing to like someone only on the caliber of their personality, but I know that a lot of my sexuality comes from visual stimulus and being just naturally physically attracted to the person.
See, I feel like you're more self-aware than most people.
I feel like
that.
But see, this is why I do what I do, and this is why I talk to people, and this is why I have conversations, because I want everyone to spend their days understanding why they are the way they are.
Ooh.
So I want to know, why is it that I have to think a girl's hot and then realize I like her personality before I could be attracted?
That's interesting.
Right. And there's reasoning behind it.
It's your psychology flowing in there.
Well, it's kind of what worked. It's what worked in humans. So males, like, just looking for good genes is what mattered. Like, we didn't have to really pick the caliber of the individual because women in general tend to raise babies and be okay. But I'm not saying this is how I view it. I'm saying this is like...
Life.
As we expanded as a species who survived, yeah. Whereas, from the female perspective, to choose the caliber of the personality was much more important towards the conduciveness of the survival of them and their child.
Gotcha.
But for us, it was like, are you hot? Can I impregnate you? How many more can I impregnate?
Huh. Nice.
That's not how I view it, but that's also still why a lot of men, want to bang everything. Because it worked.
Well, we're starting to wind down the podcast a little bit in terms of time. I always ask someone a question at the end because we talked about sleep and dreams a little bit in there, and I always ask, like, what are your dreams, like, not at night, but what are your dreams for the future for yourself?
for like my life and career.
Take that any way you want.
Okay. To always be progressing in whatever it is that I am doing or am, and to make sure that my...
It's okay. The camera might be dead.
The camera just died.
Hold on. Let me check one more thing.
Sure. That it recorded?
Yeah, it's still recording.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
I want to make sure that I'm always doing well at whatever I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that shouldn't matter, but it does to me. And I want to make sure that my relationships in life are real. I want to make sure that I try hard with whatever job I have, that I am able to share information with people. So as much as I hate growing as a person, that's what I want to do. So I don't know what that means. Because you can't just always attach these things to, like, get a sitcom. Because you need to be more than that.
Oh, I like that.
Because that's not always going to be there.
I like that you don't have miles, like very specifics like that. That's a very spiritual kind of personal.
I do want to do stand up on TV,
mm-hmm.
and hopefully they air my America's Got Talent. When they emailed me the morning of saying, "Oh, there's a last minute edit, and we won't be showing your footage," I was like, "Okay, I'll tell everyone at the party." But I do want to get on more TV. I think it would be great to have a late night set. I also think it would be phenomenal to do a half hour or an hour special and to do theater shows eventually.
That sounds fun.
Because I'm used to big audiences, I'm used to long shows, and I like long shows because you could take people further than you can in 10-15 minutes. Those things are fine, but I want to go, what if in like 6 years or something I could get enough that or 10 years, people would come out to see me, and then I could take them and engage them in a way where they're going to laugh, enjoy more than if I just came out and did a short little set.
I like that.
So that's a goal as well.
Well, I like that.
I wish it was straightforward and I knew it could be like, this is what I have to get.
That's okay, but I like that. Well, thank you for sharing that, and thanks. This is a fun conversation. I enjoyed going.
It was. We can go for like 5 hours.
Deep. It was a little bit longer than my normal ones because my timer didn't go off. I forgot to set my timer.
That's fine.
So it was I think it was like an hour, a little over an hour. But thanks so much for doing this.
Oh no, I was happy to. I'm glad we only said the name of the podcast once.
Yeah, and I usually end the podcast with us saying good night and going to sleep.
Oh.
Good night. Good night.
Sweet dreams.
All right.
Do we spoon now?
No, we don't spoon. Thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with comedian Adam Grabowski. You can find upcoming dates for him at adamgrabowski.com. Follow him on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at Adam Grabowski. That's ADAMGRABOWSKI. If you like the podcast, please rate and review on iTunes and subscribe. This podcast is brought to you by audible.com. Please go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. I'm releasing a new podcast each week. Be sure to tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music. You can also view the video on YouTube or follow me on Twitter at Sarah Albritton. Until next time, good night.